What up guys, welcome to my 3-year update video for these gaming chairs behind me. I got these gaming chairs from the company about 3 years ago or so, and now it's time to actually revisit them and see how they held up all these years, and maybe you can make a decision for yourself if it's actually worth buying one of these for yourself or not. Stay tuned. Hey guys, thanks for clicking my video. I'm Kareem. First, let me give you a quick backstory on these two gaming chairs. I received both of them for free from FickMax. Back then, they were one of the cheapest gaming chairs out there, and I used the black one mainly in my studio for the past 2 years or so. And then when I started having issues with it, I decided to switch to the red one. And so the red one wasn't really as used as the black one, but it was still just sitting there, and I would still use it sometimes. The way I'm gonna go about this is basically I'm gonna start from the top all the way down, and then we're gonna talk about every single part of the chair. So without further ado, let's start. Let's start with the black one. First, we're gonna talk about the top, and I'm happy to report that the top is perfectly fine. All these years, nothing happened to it. The leather didn't peel off or anything at the top. The logo is still intact, and it's looking pretty good at the top. I have to say the stitching held up pretty nicely, and the leather on this part held up pretty nicely as well. When we move to the neck pillow or head pillow, it's totally a different story. As you guys see, all the leather on the front peeled off completely. You still have the logo there, and yes, I use this all the time, and maybe that's why the leather is all gone from it. And the strap, I would say it held up pretty nicely for the most part. I definitely seen other straps go way worse than this. Overall, for the looks, I would say no looks anymore, but function wise, it's still kind of functionable. Now, when we move to the back itself, as you guys could see, it's pretty clean for the most part. The sewing and the leather held up pretty good, and the reason for that is because any chair that I basically use, I make sure to put this on it, and this is the purple back pillow, and it's really good. It helps with my back pain on any chair that I use, and any chair that basically becomes my daily driver. So most of the time my back doesn't even come in contact with the back of the chair at all. It only comes in contact with this, so this might be the reason this back is pretty clean, so beware. Something I have to mention is that on the side, you can see that the stitching is starting to come off a little bit. It's definitely not bad at all, but you know, it's still something to know. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the armrest. There's not much really to talk about when it comes to the armrest because it's a rubberized material. It still works pretty fine. I have nothing bad to say about the armrest at all. One thing I have to mention is that I don't just use the armrest like that. I always put on it these type of attachments. These make it very comfortable to put your arm on it, and I highly recommend these. Link in the description. Now let's move on to the seat. Before I start talking about it, I just want to let you guys know that just like the back, I usually use this purple cushion to sit on because this is very comfortable, and since I sit for long periods of times, this is a must-have for me. Now, ever since I gave this chair to my girlfriend, she's been using it without the purple seat cushion, and obviously it got some wear and tear on it because of that. So let's take a look. As you guys can tell, the front part right here is pretty damaged because of the wear and tear. There's some peeling at the front part, and this is basically the part that's being heavily used all the time, and this is the part that basically the back of your knee rubs on all the time. You would want to expect a lot of wear and tear on this part specifically. And as you guys can see, there's still some peeling of the leather in the center a little bit, and on the right side, and maybe on the left side a little bit. I would say overall it held up pretty nicely, but there's definitely some stuff to notice over here. Now, this black chair actually comes with the footrest, and as you guys could see, it held up pretty nicely. It just has some peeling on the sides of it, nothing extreme, so that's pretty good. And on the bottom, as we would expect, nothing came off. Now that we're done with the cosmetics for the black chair, it's time to go to the cosmetics for the red chair. Let's start at the top. Obviously the top looks brand new because it was barely used. Funny enough, even though I didn't use this chair that much, the straps on the pillows got way looser than the other one that I was using for the past 2 years. And obviously since I started using it, all the leather on the pillow started to peel because obviously I started using it pretty heavily. So just so you know, these pillows are the first thing that's gonna basically get peeled off. Now when we move to the back center, it looks pretty good. There's no peeling or nothing on the center, but when you look at the sides, there's definitely some peeling that's starting to take place, and I think it's only gonna get worse from here. The armrests are basically brand new. The part you sit on, for the most part, it held up pretty good. There's some peeling on the sides that also starting to happen. And just so you guys know, both wheels and the bottom parts for both chairs have been working pretty good, but there's actually some mechanical issues that are very annoying to say the least. Let's actually talk about them right now. So I usually use the chair on the highest it can go, and in my last days with this black chair, I started noticing that whenever I would adjust it to the highest it can go, 5-10 minutes in, I would find that the chair starts to slowly go in, and it wasn't a pleasant experience at all, because every about 15 minutes or so I would have to keep pulling it up, and then it would go down. So it wasn't really a pleasant experience. The biggest thing about this that I have to mention is the fact that when you adjust the back all the way to the front and then you sit for some time, eventually the back also starts to go back and lean back, and this is definitely not a good thing at all, especially for ergonomics. So I catch myself sitting without even supporting my back most of the time, but this is where this comes in, and then it fills in the gap, and then boom, gone the back pain issues. Now for this red one, I haven't had any of these issues yet since they happened on the black one. I'm thinking they're gonna happen in the red one, but maybe like 1 year in or so, since I haven't used this one as heavily as I used the black one. And so this is definitely something to keep in mind. I would say they're basically pretty usable at this point. Even the black one is usable. It's just a little annoying every time to keep adjusting it. Now also you have to keep in mind that you're not talking about a $500,000 chair. These chairs came out for like $200 or so, and so I would say the quality for the amount that you pay, it's pretty reasonable. And so this is the kind of expectation you should have when buying gaming chairs. Now as I mentioned in the beginning, these are FICMAX chairs, but I would honestly say this kind of condition would apply to most gaming chairs within the same budget, because they're kind of all built the same anyway. I gave you the info, now you know the condition that they're in 3 years later. Now you should be able to make your own decision on whether you should buy one of these or not. I recently took a look at my analytics, and I found out that most of you who are watching are not even subscribed at all, and the percentage is mind-blowing. So if you're watching this and you think you got some valuable info from my video, please, I would highly appreciate it if you could subscribe down below. And if you have any thoughts about these chairs, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'll read every single one of them. I'm actually pretty curious to know what you guys think about these chairs. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like. It helps a lot in these algorithm days. If you didn't like the video, dislike, because why not? Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have more time to watch videos, maybe you can check out some of my other videos. That's about it. All right, peace.